Hey everyone, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft Legion video. Today we're going to be doing a spec update on the Fury Warrior. Why? Well, because this spec has been changed. It has been changed for the good. It was badass before, now it is extremely badass. They have done some brilliant things. So the last time I looked at Fury, there were a few clunks regarding enraging, and Rampage would act as if you were enraged. But when you were enraged, you would want to use Raging Blow, but because of the whole situation where Rampage is how you wanted to dump Rage, there was this weird dichotomy, and it didn't really feel great. In some instances, that's now different. The big change here is that Rampage now causes you to become enraged. Additionally, the talent Carnage has been changed to reduce the cost of Rampage by 20 Rage. They have also changed Furious Slash. This now, it's got no charges, nothing like that. You can use it as many times as you want. It does 11,000 physical damage, and it increases the critical strike chance of Bloodthirst by 15 seconds. Now, Bloodthirst crits will make you enrage. That means you've got three things actually, which will make you enrage. First of all, Bloodthirst will, if it crits. Second, using Rampage will, and it does not need to crit to enrage you. And Berserker Rage will enrage you if you have the Outburst talent. There's also slightly a fourth way of becoming enraged, because you can use Battle Cry, which will give you pretty much guaranteed crit, which will mean that your Bloodthirst will definitely crit. And just so you are aware, if you're enraged, that means that you're going to be able to, if I just go to core abilities, you get increased attack speed by 100% and increased damage taken by 30% for 3.91 seconds. And when you're enraged, you can use Raging Blow, which generates 5 rage and does a really lovely amount of damage, considering it's a rage generator with no cooldown, assuming that you are enraged. So here's what you want to do. You want to build up your rage. You want to use it to use a Rampage, which will then make you enraged, which means you want to build up rage while you're enraged with Raging Blow. I'm saying rage a lot. Then you want to probably do a Bloodthirst, get back into your Rampage, which will enrage you, which means you can start doing Raging Blows. And there's this really great where these two spells play off each other, and then because of the introduction of Berserker Rage with a 1.5 minute cooldown and Battle Cry with a 1 minute cooldown, you just get this lovely rotation in terms of being able to maintain a whole bunch of rage that feels really, really good to play. Additionally, you're able to string together being enraged for 12 seconds. So if you're in a period of mega damage or heroism, or I don't know, the boss is vulnerable, take more damage, you can do awesome stuff. Let's just jump in and see how this plays. So first of all, we run in here, we do a Bloodthirst. It didn't crit, that's fine. We can use Furious Slash, which will increase the chance of our Bloodthirst critting. There we go, Bloodthirst crit. Now look at that. Bloodthirst crit, and I was instantly able to use Rampage. However, doing so, that would have enraged me. However, what's the point in getting a new application of rage when your current application of rage has 2 seconds left? So what you want to do if you get an enrage off your Bloodthirst is you want to use that enrage for as long as possible with Enraging Blow and then do Rampage. That way you basically get 8 seconds of enrage back to back rather than 6, and that is a key area where more skilled players will be able to pull ahead. So we run in, we'll do a Rampage, which has enraged us, so we can now do Raging Blow, and that has pretty much got us enough to do another Rampage, so we can continue doing our Raging Blows because we're enraged. I could now, as an example, Berserker Rage, so I can still keep on being enraged. That's given me enough fury so that I can use Rampage. So now I can just continue using Raging Blow, keeping the enrage up, which means I can Rampage again. And you see how this plays off each other. Now I'm at a stage, oh shit, I've got no rage, got no nothing. We can Battle Cry and Bloodthirst for a guaranteed enrage. I will use the remaining of that enrage on my Raging Blow and then go right in to a Rampage enrage. You can see I'm slowing the gameplay down a little bit so you can see what's going on for yourself. But basically, your enrage uptime is really high, and if you make some simple, but I think decent decisions, you'll come out on top, and you'll play a little bit better than other people, and you will do more damage. And also, they've got some protection against the bad RNG, so if you are shit out of luck, you haven't got that much rage, and your Bloodthirst hasn't crit, then every time you use Furious Slash, you're going to have a higher chance of becoming enraged, which is really quite great. Basically, this mechanic here with Furious Slash, that's smoothing out the low points of playing this spec where it feels bad. The other stuff is maintaining the highs, making them happen a little bit more often, and then making it so that skilled players will be able to really make the exciting and fun part of this spec happen more often for them. If you make good decisions, simple decisions, yes, you can have a lot more fun with this spec. Now, it is certainly a simple spec. I don't want to get away from that fact. Yes, it's pretty darn simple, but it's done in a way that I think is engaging and definitely quite fun. I do have one bit of feedback for Blizzard, though. So, look at Furious Slash. I mean, it's cool in that it's got some nice mechanical effects, but, you know, it looks kind of crap. Well, it looks okay, right? Certainly, it's no Rampage in terms of its visuals. But anyway, it doesn't feel... It just feels like a shit Bloodthirst. Here's Bloodthirst. Boom. Did a whole big bunch of damage. Very cool. But here's Furious Slash. Oh, it's boring. So here's what I would propose Blizzard do. Make this half the global cooldown of anything else. It used to be like that with Wild Strike, and I feel like that was a form of gameplay that felt a little bit different. The reason why is because, if you think about it, when you use Rampage, your character does a series of attacks. But whenever you use Raging Blow and Bloodthirst, it's an instant attack in melee range that invokes the global cooldown. This Furious Slash is the third ability which does that. So the three of these mechanically don't have much of a difference to each other. I think they could differentiate that by giving Furious Slash maybe some less damage. I'd actually give it half the damage, then, or maybe, let's just say 60% of the damage. I would half its global cooldown, and that would mean that it would feel slightly more spammy. It would mean that if you're in a situation where you've got really unlucky with your Bloodthirst, you know, you can hammer out a few of these super quick, and then get back on the gravy train again. That's just a little bit of feedback, but overall, I think the Fury Warrior is shaping up really quite excellently. Sadly, their artifact talents are kind of boring, actually. None of them really affect the gameplay too much. That said, it already is quite fast as things stand, which is part of the reason why I enjoy it so much. Anyway, that is a look at Fury Warrior, one of the most badass-looking, best animated specs that is backed up by mechanics which are not the most complex ever, but they do let people who make good decisions, and it lets them shine, and it certainly does match the theme of a raging berserker person who's mashing buttons and whacking things with swords pretty darn well. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.